We all know that Five Rings is a lot like a Merrill Lynch, an A.G. Edwards, a Schwab. The difference is, of course, we focus on middle-income Americans instead of millionaires. What we want to talk to you about tonight is the opportunity to work with Five Rings Financial, what that looks like. We talked about getting started part-time. We talked about what it looks like getting started full-time, what it looks like as you transition into being a manager at Five Rings. And the first thing for us when we look at our company and when we showed up here was, what did we want? What was the lifestyle? Or what was the goal? What was the negative thing in our life that we wanted to run away from? And I know for me, it was just wanting to have enough money to pay the bills. I was looking for a business. I was looking for something where I could control my time. I was looking for a place that I could go and do what I wanted to do, have a schedule when I wanted to have a schedule. For me, it was picking up my kids at 3 o'clock after school, and on Friday, to be able to spend the weekend with them and take the summer off. I've talked a little bit about midichlorians, and I won't get into the detail of that tonight, but for you Star Wars fans, our business, what makes it so unique is our ability to come and start part-time and work our way up. We're not put in a room at the back and taking the top of our head off and product knowledge, product knowledge, product knowledge, product knowledge for 6 weeks and then kicked out the door and say, go get them, Tiger. Right? Instead, we have the opportunity to take a field trainer with us. It gives us instant trust and instant credibility with the people that we work with. Five Rings Financial, from an education perspective, makes us totally different. You know, people that look to come on board with us, they want to work with us on an education basis. And what that means is that we go out in the market, don't most financial services people, don't they want to just sell you? Right? And the difference is that when you work with us, we figured out over the last 30 years that people today, they want to be taught what to do with their money, not told what to do with their money.
And that was actually my first experience when I was introduced to Five Rings. And what I was looking for was an opportunity to be able to travel. One of the things that I've shared oftentimes is that I wanted to see all 7 continents before I was 30, and I wanted to keep my age and my country count both at the same level within a 5-year or so window. So what's been so cool about building a career with Five Rings is I've had that opportunity to take time off, to travel. Just last September, I was in Thailand and Australia. I did my last 2 continents, and I hit 30 countries this year, and I'm 31. Next year, in 2016, we're going to go to 5, so I'm going to be at 35 countries. Pretty cool. And I knew that I was unemployable from a very young age because I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. What I was looking for when it came down to finding a career after the construction industry kind of fell apart on me is the first and foremost thing I needed was to be my own boss. The idea of somebody telling me when I could, when I needed to come into work, leave, when I was allowed to go on vacation, and when I was allowed to go to the bathroom, and forcing me to eat at a certain time, I thought, there's no way. Thank God I have Andre, otherwise I would always forget to eat, but that's a whole nother story. It was really about building up and having that amazing lifestyle that I wanted to experience. And I know Andre at one point wanted to be able to travel the world with his spouse and share the stage. And so we've been able to find some really cool opportunities within Five Rings that has been for each and every one of us. So we always like to encourage people that are looking at Five Rings to really explore what is it that they're looking for and how can we match up with them. And then how can we, as reps with our company, help people to see how Five Rings can really bring that to the table for the people who want to come and work with us. Because each and every one of us has a different goal, has a different lifestyle that we want to achieve, and so that's really what we're looking for. And if we can help to understand what our new recruits' goals are, we can help them to realize that within the financial services industry and within Five Rings Financial.
Does anybody in the room want to make more money than they make today? Awesome. Look around. Everybody said yes. Would anybody be excited about an extra $500 or $1,000 a month? Would anybody be excited about an extra $2,000 or $3,000 a month? Anybody get in Five Rings because they wanted to make 6 figures, to make $100,000 a year? Do you understand that in order to make $100,000 in just about any other business in America, you have to go to school? And you've got to go 4-year degree, and then an apprenticeship program, and then an intern program, and then you got to pay this and pay that, and you're usually 5, 6, 8 years out before you even get to start making $100,000 or being able to bill at $100,000. Do you understand that at Five Rings Financial we get to work our way up, we get to start part-time? right? It gives us the opportunity to keep what we're doing on a part-time basis while we don't have to worry about paying the bills, and come over here and on a part-time basis and bring your field trainer and invite people to some events. So as we talk about tonight, we're going to break it into 3 sections. We want to talk about why 5 rings. Section 2 is going to be why our marketing system is top-notch and it is better than anything else on the planet. As a matter of fact, our marketing system not just hits the ball out of the park, but we knock the cover off the ball. All right? Realize that. And then the third part that we're going to talk about is going to be our wheelhouse, is what we offer to our clients. The top 3 things that people are worried about today, right now, are number 1, they're worried about their IRA or their 401k. You understand that anybody that has a broker, they lost money in 87, they lost it in 01, they lost it in 08. Do you realize that the top of the market this year was March, and we're down about 9% this year? So people are worried again. We're showing up at meetings and people are saying, when is it going to happen again? So people are worried about what's going to happen to their money. 83% of owners of a 401k or an IRA, if they knew there was an option that they could park their money and never lose again, they would. But they just don't know that there's an option. The other difference that 5 rings makes is that if you're a stockbroker, and by the way, we're not anti-stock market, we're not anti-stock market, but do you guys realize the fundamental difference between the way we do business and the way the stockbroker does business world is this, that in that world over there, the stamp that that stockbroker has on their chest is that they're allowed to put their client's money at risk, lose it, and then charge their clients a fee while they lose it. Over at 5 rings, the stamp that we have on our chest is we're only allowed to offer guaranteed instruments that are guaranteed to never lose a penny, and we never charge our clients a management fee or a transaction fee. That's huge from doing business. 1, for our clients, it's huge because the client doesn't want to pay fees. But 2, it's huge because as a rep, I have this thing called SWAN insurance. Sleep well at night. SWAN insurance.
And we give it to our clients. You know, when I first started in this industry, Denise Arend was my mentor, and she talked about a time when she was actually a stockbroker. She was working for another company before, and she inherited a book of business right before 2001 and watched her clients lose a ton of money before she had a chance to move some of her 70-year-old clients into something safer. And she told me that at the end of that experience, when she was about to leave, she was recovering from a stomach ulcer. She had a bald spot. I hope you don't mind I'm sharing this, Denise, but I know you shared it with me. So she had a bald spot on the back of her head because she would twirl her hair when she was on the phone because she'd get stressed out and pull her hair out. And it was so stressful. She wasn't sleeping well at night. She knew her clients weren't sleeping well at night. And that's a really big deal. Sometimes we overlook it, but at the end of the day, the 3 main things when we look at the overall concern that people have about their money, some people are worried about outliving their money or living too long. Some people are worried about dying too soon and leaving their family with nothing. And then people are really, really worried, especially if they're caring for elderly parents, that they're going to end up in that situation and they're not going to have enough money to take care of themselves if they get sick. Those are 3 huge concerns, and we can help our clients, but also those that come to work with us, deal with all 3 of those concerns in their own financial lives, in the lives of their family, their friends, and their clients as they get going with a career with 5 rings. It really is amazing how much effect we can have on people and their lives by just giving them peace of mind.
5 years ago, right now, I was invited to a Christmas party. And at that Christmas party, I'm this kind of guy. So, hey, tell me something great that happened. And this young woman that I asked, she said, oh my gosh, I just got this commission check. And I said, how much? She said, $25,000. Bonk. I fell out of my chair. When I got back in my chair, what went through my mind was legal or not, I'm in. And then I said, are you guys hiring? And I had to look behind me, and that was me. I'm the one that asked if she was hiring. I didn't realize I was looking, but when somebody says they made $25,000 on a sale, I was like, how did you do that? And she said, well, I had this client, he had an IRA, we've had a couple of meetings, they decided to roll it over, today's the day the rollover happened, my commission check hit my account. And that's the day I found out that I was looking. And I asked, are you hiring? And I showed up at Lyle Donnelly's office. And I said, Lyle, for $25,000, I walked in his office a little bit cocky. And I said, Lyle, for $25,000, I'll introduce you to anybody. I figured I would just run around Boulder, because that's where I had newly moved to. I figured I would just go around and meet people. Hi, my name's Andre. I'm a marketing rep for this guy, Lyle Donnelly. He's a financial genius. Everybody that meets with him walks away from him better than when they met him. Would you like an appointment? And Lyle said, whoa, 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 whoa. Just so you know, our average commission is only $2,000. For $2,000, Lyle, I'll introduce you to anybody you want to meet. And very quickly, I found that I was looking. And very quickly, I ended up here at 5 Rings. What Lyle said to me is, Andre, what I'd like you to do is I want you to check us out. I want you to go test drive 5 Rings. I want you to come to a Money 101. I didn't know what that was, but I said, okay. I want you to come to a TNT, which is tonight, a Thursday night training. He says, and I want you to sit down with me, and I want you to let me treat you like a client so that you have the aha moments that all of our clients have. And what happened was, is when I sat down with him and he treated me like a client, 2, 3 appointments later, and he didn't try to sell me. He just showed me what was available. He educated me. I raised my hand. He educated me. I said, hey, can we do business? And then when I came here and I found out that there was a place where I could go and just hang out and listen and learn at my pace, blew my mind. And I'm one of these guys. I wanted to go and touch people and say, you make $100,000 a year? You make $300,000 a year? You make $20,000 a year? I needed that. I needed to meet some other people to see that it was possible. Do you guys understand that in our industry, not just 5 Rings, but that the financial services industry, there are more people making $100,000 a year in this industry than any other industry in America?
Including the NBA, the NFL, and other professional sports players?
Do you know there are more people making $1 million a year in this industry than any other in America? Does anybody know anything that they can do to make $1 million a year? What we're doing.
What we're doing.
That's right. What I thought was robbing banks.
Yeah,
You know?
but we didn't want to put Andre in jail. So what I learned when I started in the industry is I didn't realize I was looking either. I met Denise because I was speaking at a networking event, and I was sharing what I was passionate about, sharing a little bit about my story. I am totally open with being authentic and vulnerable, so I was talking about losing money in the stock market and how I was open to finding something that would give me more potential in my career and how I had lost my job in construction and just sharing at this networking event. And I was lucky enough to have Denise and Chris in the room. And Denise leans over to Chris and says, hey, we got to hire that girl. And Chris turns to Denise and says, that's never going to happen. And Denise turns to Chris and says, watch me. And I know the night that we were awarded our black jacket, she was giving Chris the eye, saying, you see what we did? And that's what's so amazing is a lot of people don't realize that they're looking. I interviewed 5 people today for different people in our team who said, I didn't think that I wanted to be in the financial services industry, but what you're telling me sounds pretty good. The fact that I can create a life that I love, the fact that I can be in charge, the fact that if I work hard and I really put my nose to the grindstone and I enjoy it, but I also put in the hours, I can make $100,000 in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You mean if I keep going, I could get up to the point where I could make $1 million a year? People are shocked that we have that kind of opportunity in front of us, and we don't have to go get an 8-year college degree. Because we learn on the job, and that's what Andre was alluding to with field training. It's an opportunity for people who never saw themselves in the financial services industry to step into a place where they can begin to explore and learn with a company that's not going to pressure them, but is going to give them an opportunity to have a test drive. I always say we dip our toe in the water at the pool, or we smell around the edges of the bush and see if we like the way it smells. You don't necessarily have to jump in with both feet. We're not going to push you. But we need to be, as ambassadors for 5 Rings, we need to be out there really sharing this story. So what is it for you that hit home? Why are you still here? What is it that you love about 5 Rings? And if you can begin to share those things, that's where you're going to start to see, if you want, your team begin to grow. Because people are looking for that hope. They're looking for that freedom. They're looking for the independence. Just today, Andre was with one of our reps up in the Louisville area. They drove down to Colorado Springs, and in the car they were having this conversation about how he can't wait to get to leave his full-time job. I'm going to keep his name out of it just to protect the innocent. But Andre said, why don't we plan on the day that you leave your full-time job, we're going to hire a blimp that says he was financially independent at 34. And we're going to pick you up in a limousine and we're going to go celebrate the last day of your corporate job. If we can create a dream like that for people, it's going to make such a huge impact, not only in the size and how much we grow in our company, but the number of clients that we affect and the number of agents that we affect as they begin to shift their lives. Imagine having, I said this today on every recruiting call, can you imagine having a team of 100 people who work with you who are all making over $100,000 a year? Holy smokes.
The jet share gets really inexpensive at that point.